Too many neurotypicals don't get it. They lecture us on things like perspective taking, yet say ignorant things that can even downplay our own perspective. And most of these don't have to be downright offensive. Knowing full well the consequences of explicitly discriminating against us, many neurotypicals have developed subtle ways to continue just that. In this video, we will go over 4 of these common subtle phrases they use in order to dismiss our perspective and what we need to thrive. And pay close attention to the entire video, because tackling one of these can give you the very words you need to articulate and advocate for yourself. Number 1. Isn't everyone a little autistic? If you are a late diagnosed adult, you may have heard this a lot, especially if you've just been diagnosed or labeled high functioning. The people telling you this could be trying to get you to think that they understand your perspective, or make themselves appear like they know your experience and want to be inclusive of you. But be warned. Instead of wanting to know your perspective, these people flatly assume they know, when in reality, they don't. Do any of these people know what it's like to be bullied by your neurotypical female peers for having more male friends than female friends? Or be physically abused by a parent for your traits and be made to believe it was your fault, only to realize much later in life that it was not? This is a subtle shutdown phrase used by many neurotypicals to make our needs appear smaller than they really are. None of these people have even bothered to think what it's like to have your opportunities drastically undercut due to being unable to qualify for particular accommodations before a late diagnosis. Many of them assume that being socially awkward or, at times, socially withdrawn makes you a little autistic. They may say things like, "Everyone is socially awkward," and dismiss your experience or exceptional needs as just another version of what everyone else normally experiences by implying that anyone can fall on the autism spectrum. None of this is true. While you may have certain characteristics that can come with autism, such as processing issues or difficulties socializing, those by themselves do not make you any bit autistic. It is as dumb as saying that having swollen ankles and indigestion make you a little bit pregnant. Qualifying for an autism diagnosis requires far more than having social difficulties. So the people parroting otherwise have no clue what they're talking about. If you engage in stimming or use certain things to stim, others may also react with number 2. Dude, what are you doing? That's weird, you shouldn't do that. Many neurotypical adults look down upon stim toys as mindless distractions and accuse users of not paying attention. There are even instances in which a teacher yanks away a stim toy from an autistic child, lashing out,
"No more stim toys,"
and then throwing it into the trash, leading the child to suffer a meltdown as a result. And not surprisingly, the school, ignorant of the teacher's own mistake, responds with unforgiving disciplinary repercussions, even going as far as to impose the abusive practices of restraint and seclusion that all too commonly happen to autistics. But stimming plays an important role in enabling us to thrive. The autistic nervous system operates differently, leading to pent-up energy. Stimming allows us to release that energy, enabling us to focus, pay attention, and better perform as a result. What works best will depend on the individual autistic, but whatever they are, stim toys are accessibility aids. They are not the same as cell phone distractions these neurotypicals compare them to. Taking them away is the same as seizing a hearing aid from a deaf person and a wheelchair from someone who is paralyzed. Even to this day, there are people who still bully and make fun of wheelchair-bound individuals for using the medical equipment they need to use the restroom. The people who demand you to suppress your stims are no better. Number 3, but you went to college, did fine, and achieved these other things. You can't be autistic. It should boggle anyone's mind and shudder anyone's moral conscience that even after many laws passed against discrimination towards our community, many neurotypicals continue to think true of the common discriminatory stereotypes about autism. Even worse, they continue buying into negative misconceptions about disability in general. It is no wonder they will utter this phrase if you have an invisible disability. As for autism, they will believe pathetic myths like people with autism have low IQs, cannot become self-sufficient, or students with special needs have no place in gifted education or AP classes. People telling you this are trying to subtly dismiss your particular needs by claiming you don't match their misconceptions about autism. But no matter how smooth they are no better than the shameful stereotypes that produced it. Now that autism is better understood today, this phrase has mutated into number 4. You went to college, did fine, and achieved these other things. Your autism is an unrealized superpower, not a disability. You may have seen something similarly said to a late diagnosed college student in this viral clip.
I think you should look at autism, as you describe it, as an unrealized superpower, not as a disability.
I will have another video debunking the myth of what has been labeled high-functioning autism, so make sure to subscribe. But notice what happened. The people saying this are trying to make themselves appear welcoming of you by saying things that sound positive. But only right after does the lie rear its ugly head. While it is true that autistics can accomplish great things, even undiagnosed, it is dead wrong to flatly deny it as a disability. Autistics that can excel in areas such as musical performance can still struggle in other particular areas if their learning differences are left unaccommodated. For example, you may be able to perform extremely well in subjects such as biology and chemistry because they involve more visual presentations of concepts, and consequently better suit your unique learning style. But even when it comes to learning a subject you can academically excel in, such as physics, you may still struggle because physics involves more abstract concepts, and you're left without the particular accommodative tools that allow you to master them in a way that suits your way of learning. While some of us may not view their autism as a disability, that is simply not true for the overwhelming majority of us. People telling us this do not understand or appreciate any of the accommodations, modes, and orders that make our potential realized. They don't appreciate the indispensable speech therapies and other therapies that have allowed non-verbal autistics to become exceptional practicing attorneys. Think of it. If your autism is an unrealized superpower and not a disability, what do you think these same people will demand next? It is no wonder these neurotypicals lecture how sensitive we are regarding sensory issues towards noise or hot surfaces, or complain anytime we stim. All of this leads to masking, not only of what enables us to perform our best, but ironically, our own potential. Knowing full well how egregiously wrong their parents or grandparents were about autism in the previous century, these partisan young influencers use this phrase to manipulate you into believing they are inclusive of you by acknowledging your autism due to better understanding of it in the current century. But it is still a cruel trick they use to downplay your needs to keep autism as they, like their ancestors, prefer it to be. Unrealized potential. By the way, if you want to learn more, don't forget to show some support by hitting the like and subscribe button. Take care, and until next time.